People are going through a lot. And maybe you're watching this video and you're the one who's going through a lot. We have a lot of people who are wearing, fake smiles or well-dressed, putting on makeup, but they're going through something. The thing is, when you love someone, you hope that they can open up to you. You hope that that spouse, that child, that friend of yours will be able to open up to you about what they are going through. Because when you love someone, you have a natural tendency of wanting to be there for them. So how do you make it easy for someone that you care for to open up to you? How do you make it easy for someone that you love, that you value, be it a spouse, a friend, a partner, a child, that, hey, you can open up to me? Because many times we want people to open up to us, but the question is, how can we make it easier for them? So in my years of working with people, I've learned so many things about people opening up. I've seen wives during a session looking at the husband and seeing the husband open up about things that she didn't even know, and she's wondering, how come you never told me these things? How come you never shared this with me? I've had children who are going through such heavy matters and they're not able to share it with their parents. I've had friends who are tight, they're close, but then there are some aspects that they struggle to open up. Now, the first thing we need to realize is that we all were nurtured differently. Some of us, the way we were nurtured in a home, in an environment whereby we are able to express our feelings, we could be able to say what it is that we want, so it comes natural. Opening up comes natural. Some of us also have a personality whereby we are more confident to speak up. We're more confident to raise our voice, to raise our concern when we are not okay or when we are not treated right. Others also, because of trauma or because of the issues that they've faced in life, where they try to be vulnerable to someone or to people, but then it backfired on them, and so they've developed a coping mechanism of keeping things to themselves. Others also, on the other hand, particularly men, where they've been brought up in a society where if they show their soft side, if they show the area in them where they need someone to hold their hand, it's considered weakness. So we need to realize that there's a background to every individual. So here it is that you love someone, you have to appreciate the fact that he or she has a background, and that background can either make them easy to open up and talk or difficult to open up to talk. So how do you help this person to share things with you? Number one, be vulnerable yourself. To teach vulnerability, be an example of a vulnerable person. So the more you're also vulnerable with somebody, the more they get to feel like, oh, so we can talk about these things. Oh, so my dad, my mom can be vulnerable with me. Oh, so they're teaching me how to be vulnerable to them. Oh, so this friend is able to share with me their low side. This friend is able to share with me not just their good days, but also their bad days. Oh, this partner of mine is willing to be open about the unpleasant matters. So when you do this, you're teaching that person that, hey, we can talk. So that's number one. Number two, be peaceful. Be peaceful. Opening up requires an environment of peace. The moment that somebody feels that I'm not in a peaceful environment, they will end up keeping things to themselves, or they will end up approaching the matter as, okay, I don't want to disturb the peace that you already have. So when you are able to have difficult conversations in a peaceful environment, then you will encourage the child, the partner, the friend, the spouse to open up. Reward the people who open up to you with the feeling of peace, the ambience of peace, that, hey, you will not be treated differently after you've opened up. So that's number 2. Number 3, do not pass judgment. When somebody opens up to you, what they're looking for is to be understood, not to be judged. So you allow the person to start to open up, and you're like, okay, let me not judge you. Let me not use the information you're sharing with me that perhaps no one else knows against you. Let me not use this information to look at you differently. Because when people are scared that you will stop seeing me as great, you will stop seeing me as amazing, you will stop seeing me as a blessing, the moment I open up about this thing that perhaps happened in my past, the moment that I open up about this thing that I'm struggling with, the moment I open up about perhaps the way I perceive life, I feel like if I tell you these things, you will stop seeing me the way you currently are seeing me. So let the person know, shh, I will not judge you. I will not judge you. We all have our good days and bad days. We all have our struggles. We all have our scars. We all have our trauma, and I will not judge you. I will use this information to understand you. Hey, did you do something bad in the past? Let me understand you and find out, okay, what led you to do that? Was something bad done to you? Were you abused? Is that the reason why you're having a low self-esteem? Is that the reason why you perhaps get triggered when you see so and so, when you hear so and so, when the topic is this? What are your trigger points? Help me understand you. And the more you open up to me, the more I understand you. So people are looking for understanding, not judgment. So when somebody opens up to you and then what they get is judgment, you are discouraging them from opening up to you in future. Because people will respond to how you treat them when it's uneasy. If they see like, oh my goodness, when things were uneasy, I was still treated like I'm home. I found my home. Then I can come home and I can say this and that, this and that. So that's I think that was point number 3. Now, point number 4, don't be quick to give advice when somebody is opening up. Don't be quick to talk about yourself when somebody is opening up. Don't be quick to make it about you when somebody is opening up. When somebody is sharing with you about how difficult their childhood was, that is not the time to perhaps give advice or to tell them, oh, my childhood was this way, maybe perhaps it was better than yours, or yours wasn't as bad. So no. All people look for is a place to vent, And most of the times, people are not even looking for advice. They're looking for somebody to vent to. Because as we vent, as we open up and share, the thing is that a lot of the solutions are already deep in us. The more we talk about our issue, the more our solutions get clear. So allow the person to open up and to just share. This is not about you, it's about them. Now the next thing, point number 5, don't rush them. Don't jump in. Don't jump in and be like, oh my goodness, no, stop. Or you're asking, or you change the conversation, or you bring in other topics. No. Or sometimes you ask a question, and instead of allowing the person to answer the question, you've already butted in. You've already, so you're preventing them from answering the question that you've asked them to answer. Is that helping? At the end of the day, weren't you wanting to know how they feel, what they think, and where they're at? So if you ask somebody a question when they're in the process of opening up, give them the space and the room to answer. Point number 6, timing. Timing is very important. Sometimes we want people to open up to us at the wrong time or the wrong space. Some people struggle to open up in public. Some people struggle to open up when they're in a hurry. When, oh my goodness, you're asking me to talk about this when we are, perhaps I'm getting late for work. For married couples, many of them dread that statement that says, we need to talk. So it is important that when you are wanting somebody to open up, that you have created the conducive environment and also adequate time for that conversation, because opening up takes time. Opening up takes time. Leading us to point number 7, create a setting. Sometimes the setting could be you take this person out on a date. Maybe it's your child, maybe it's your son, your daughter that you've seen they're struggling, or your partner or your friend. You just ask them out whether they are available for like 1 hour or 2. You just go somewhere, you just chill, you have a wonderful time. When they get comfortable, as you talk about less heavy stuff, and you continue interacting, then it just deepens and deepens the conversation. Before you know it, now you're talking about the heavy stuff. Somebody's opening up, because sometimes all that is needed is space. Sometimes people want to talk. They're just looking for who is interested in what I have to say. Because just because you have the title of father, of mother, of spouse, of partner, or friend, doesn't automatically make the person open up to you. Sometimes it is about creating that space, that environment whereby, whoa, we can talk. Because I can imagine you've been there during a good date where the ambience is good, every single thing is okay, and then you just find yourself just talking. Sometimes no one even asks you to open up. You just open up. So sometimes all that is needed is that. So maybe you need to consider that person that you feel, maybe perhaps your inner instinct is telling you this person is going through something. Instead of badging them with, I know you're going through something, why are you not telling me? And that's point number 8. Don't pressure them. Don't pressure them. Allow them to open up when they feel safe to. And it's not for you to determine when they feel safe. Because remember, it's not about you, it's about them. It's not for you to determine that your child is safe. It's for your child to perceive safety. It's not for you to perceive that your friend is safe, because you're looking at things from your perspective, not from their perspective. So allow it to take time. You know what? Maybe they might share 20% of the matter today. Well and good, that's progress. Then the next day, 30%, 40%. And before you know it, you're talking about the full breadth of the matter. So don't be in a hurry. Don't pressure somebody to talk. It is for you to show this person that you care about that we are in this long term. I'm in this long term. I'm with you. When you need me, you got me. When you need me, you got me. Like, it's not an event. Opening up is not an event. It's something that we grow into. It's a lifestyle that we develop.